Happy Monday, folks. I know that sounds like a oxymoron to some folks, but to me, happy Monday. I recently did a video asking for suggestions on topics for top 10 lists, and I got a bunch of suggestions, so I appreciate that. I wouldn't say completed putting lists together. I have some lists put together, but some of them are not completable. It's just not possible, but we'll see. But I did this one. I think this one was from Latakia Quest Piper. He wanted to know the top 10 table games. And get attacked by a bug here. I'm not sure if what he meant by table games and what I mean by table games are the same thing, but games you play on a tabletop, I guess. It's how you would define it. It's how I define it. So these are the top 10 for me. And somewhat in order of appearance, I guess. But not really. Number one for me is chess. Love chess. I've loved chess since I was a kid. I've just recently gotten back into it, and it's an incredible game. It teaches you about all kinds of stuff: problem solving, critical thinking, patience. It teaches you how to lose. It's all kinds of stuff, and it's so incredibly complex. I mean, they've got these supercomputers that have been working on chess for years, since the 90s, and they're not any closer to like solving the game, figuring out the absolute way to win it every time. They're no closer now than they've ever been, really. It's so complex. So that's number one for me, chess. Number two is a game called Pente, P-E-N-T-E. Discovered this game in the late 80s. And it's kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I guess I could just explain how you play it. It's played with these little stones on a grid-like board. And the object is to either place your stones in a manner where you get 5 in a row, or you can capture pairs of your opponent's stones, and if you capture 5 pairs of your opponent's stones, you win. Seems easy. It's very easy to learn. It's an incredibly complex game as well. There's a lot of strategy that goes into that. It's a great game, especially 2-player. You can play it with 3 and 4 people, but it gets a little weird if you add more people, to me anyway. But it's a fantastic 2-player game. Another one that I got into for a while and kind of got out of because I just absolutely couldn't figure it out. I love to play it, but I was so bad at it that it got frustrating, and that's the ancient game of Go. It's another game you play with placing stones on a grid-like board, a big board with lots of stones, and it's incredibly complex as well. I figured out the basics to it, but I just absolutely could not make any progress in getting good at it. But nonetheless, it's a fantastic game. I believe it was played in the movie A Beautiful Mind, if I'm remembering correctly. And he got terribly upset because he played it absolutely mathematically the way it was supposed to be played and lost. Anyway, that's another good one. Another great game is backgammon. I've been a fan of that for years and years. I mean, back in the day when you bought an old chess checker set or whatever, it usually included backgammon as well. I've got a pretty nice backgammon set. I love playing that game. It's more geared toward gambling, but it can be just as enjoyed for fun as I enjoy it. Number 5, dominoes. Virtually any variety of dominoes I love playing. And that goes back to when I was just a kid, like 6 or 7 years old. My grandmother loved to play dominoes. Anytime we went to her house and stayed the night or any length of time, there was always a dominoes game. Some of the best memories from my childhood. Great game. Then we get into like board games, classic board games. I'm not much into the newer stuff, the prize winning board games and the game of the year kind of games. They're fun to play, once or twice here and there, but they just don't hold up to me. They don't have any longevity. Trivial Pursuit. I just loved Trivial Pursuit when it came out. Played it all the time. Bought all the expansion packs that came out with it. The sports, entertainment, baby boomer. I can't remember all of them. I had about 6 of them. I can't remember all of them. But anyway, that was a great game. Anytime anybody has a game that involves trivia, I'm all in. For Christmas a few years ago, somebody bought me an American trivia game. Has to do with just American stuff. And the family had to make up rules because they wouldn't play it with me otherwise. I have to answer. It has 2 sets of questions. The easy ones and the hard ones. I get the hard ones, everybody else gets the easy ones, and I have to answer twice as many to get a tile or whatever it is. That's okay. It makes the games longer, more enjoyable. Trivial Pursuit, though, that was a great game, great concept. Number 7, Scrabble. Always loved word games, and Scrabble is, the best word game ever made, in my opinion. It's right up there with the crossword puzzle. Fantastic game. Me and my wife used to play Scrabble all the time. We haven't done it in quite some time. Anyway, that's a good one. Scrabble's fun. Number 8, it's one of the oldest games, I think, especially board games. It's Parcheesi. It's just a simple, roll the dice, race them kind of game. Good, it's got a bit of strategy involved in it. Great game. I'll play that anytime, anywhere. Number 9, I think when this one came out, it absolutely took over the world, and I loved it. I still loved playing this game. They won't let me and my wife be on the same team when we play this game. We think too much alike or something when it comes to this. Pictionary. Both of us are pretty good at getting an idea across on paper pretty quick, especially in drawing. So that's a fun one to play. It's always fun at parties. And you don't have to have the game to play it. You can just make it up, go as you go. So that's a good one. And I think probably one of my favorite classic board games ever. You know, like Monopoly, Sorry, that kind of stuff. It's not really the same though. Risk. I used to love playing that when I was a kid. Haven't played it in years. I like the concept. I like the simplicity of it. I like the complexity of it. It's simple enough that you can play a moderately quick game, and it's complex enough that you can make it last for hours if you want. So there you have it. My top 10 board games. I'm sure I forgot something along the line that I love to play, but those were the best ones to me. And pretty much any card game I like to play, but different category. So Latakia Quest Piper, thanks for the suggestion. Hope you guys enjoyed this. What would you leave off of there? What would you add to it? What would you change? What am I crazy about? Let's hear it. Until the next one, you guys enjoy your pipe. Ignore the hype.